Hello everyone, welcome to the next video. Some of you have requested it, so today we're gonna start talking about a new opening, third file rook, and specifically Ishida style. As we know, third file rook is when you move your rook to the third file from the left, but Ishida style will be characterized by the fact that we push the 7-5 pawn very early. In this particular shape we're gonna start talking about Sentes Ishida style. So today I'm gonna do a quick introduction about it. If you guys are interested in knowing more, the rest of the videos will be in the separate playlist called Shogi Openings. And of course, if you like it, please leave a comment under the video. So the most important point that Ishida style player will have to understand is that we need to adapt to enemy playstyle. So we have to observe what kind of shape they're going to make, and we will have to counter it. We will have to know many different tactics and understand what is our objective in each of them. So the basic shape we do in Ishida Ryu is we open our bishop line. If they open theirs, we can push this pawn and move our rook directly to the third file. Few moves ahead, we eventually will arrive at position where we have Mino castle and enemy will build, let's say, boat castle. And what is our objective exactly? Notice that if we exchange the pawn in front of the rook, unlike the static rook, we actually cannot sabaki our rook immediately, yeah? This of course is still beneficial to us because we will have pawn in hand, our rook will feel more light, but we will need to find some ways to break through the enemy camp. So why we cannot sabaki our rook? Please notice this god defends both of those squares here together with the rook, and also this knight, don't forget the knight, yeah, is here protecting the rook promotion. Of course, because as we said, exchange of 7-4 pawn gives us those benefits. Static rook has actually two ways of defending it. One which is moving the rook up to 8-4, yeah, we defend it with the rook, or pushing 6-4 pawn and later putting the silver to 6-3, defending it here. So those will be like those two main shapes that we will have to learn. Because depending on what shape they make, our attacking pattern will change. Other main distinction that we will have is whenever we have pushed this pawn or not. For the uses of this video, I'm gonna call the shape where this pawn is not pushed open Ishida. And if we push this pawn, it's gonna be closed Ishida. I think it makes sense. So one example of when we shouldn't push this pawn is in this position. If we push this pawn, the enemy will be able to sabaki the rook and de facto threaten a weak point, yeah? It seems like we may be able to defend it with the rook, but notice the bishop will die, right? So in some situations we won't be able to close our position. Now because we didn't close our position, we will have to be aware of big thing that enemy can do, which is bishop exchange, yeah? Bishop exchange will change the dynamic of the opening and a special care will be needed. We'll arrive at position like this. Notice we will use the gold on the left side and this will be our main theme for bishop exchange. We will have two ways to play here. One is to use our silver to exert pressure in the middle of the board, which is gonna be more difficult. So the book line that they're gonna prefer is a more direct fight, 8-6 pawn push. Both are good opening plans to know. One more thing about bishop exchange, we will have to know how to deal with bishop drop against Mino castle. The book also introduces us to this very useful shape for beginners. In some cases we won't castle our king directly like this, we remove the silver first, and that creates a hole for the enemy bishop drop like this. Seems like they can take the lance, but actually we have a way to counter it, and that will be to move the lance up. The book will also explain how you should deal with this situation. And it's gonna recommend to create a light shape using your knight, bishop and rook. But we're gonna get into this later. As opposed to the open Ishida shape, where we will have to be really careful about all those bishop drops, keeping our camp intact and so on, we will have the closed Ishida shape, which will allow us to castle into more secure castles like High Mino, Silver Crown, Anaguma. It will be called a slow game. And one of the shapes we would like to learn is this one. When the rook is floating, the knight is here protecting the rook's ears, and the bishop is on the edge, exerting a pressure over the silver's head. There is only one thing we will have to be careful about here, which is the possibility of senichite, being a repetition draw. As the first mover, as the center player, we really don't wanna repeat the game, as the colors will change. For example, they can play the rook to the edge, targeting to exchange the pawn in front of our bishop's head, and as we come back, they also come to the 7th file, threatening our rook's front. So the bishop has to come back, and you can easily see this position will become in repetition. Therefore, the book also recommends us this other shape. Instead of going for the edge bishop, it recommends to put it on the 7-7 square instead, but more about it in further chapters. 5 points that the book wants you to remember from the introductory chapter is: number 1, if you have a chance, go for the 7-4 pawn exchange. Number 2, look at the opponent's shape and based on that, create a perfect shape for yourself. Point number 3, against pawn 8-5, do not push the 6-6 pawn. Point 4, be careful of the senichite for the bishop onto 9-7 square. And the last point, in the closed shape Ishida, bishop 7-7 is a very good move to remember. So that's all for today. Tell me if you liked it or if you want me to concentrate on any specific opening, rapid game, slow game. Book recommendation is to start with the rapid game, which is the open Ishida shape. If you like it, please let me know, and I will see you next week. But for now, bye bye. We will have the closed Ishida, where our ideal shape